My name is Carson. Welcome to Thrifty Garage, a channel where we do everyday repairs, how-tos, and reviews. And in today's video, we'll be comparing two airless options for tires. In the past, I've had tube tires and air tires, and just really bad experience with them, so I've chosen to go a different route. And we're looking at some different options, pros and cons of these. Honestly, you can see here what I've probably ultimately chosen. And I'm going to talk a little bit about costs and why it makes more sense to buy nicer or more expensive the first time than it does cheaper. Going cheaper sometimes costs you more in the long run, like it did for me. So we'll kind of tell you some backstories and how we got to where we're at. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So if you're a long-term subscriber of the channel, you'll know that I own and operate a landscape business in addition to my Thrifty Garage YouTube channel. And just recently I did a video review on this flat-free tire picked up from Northern Tool. This is the Marathon flat-free tire, and these are the 13 by 6.5-6 tires. Both of these are. So recently did that review video on these. Really liked them, bought them, used them for about a year, and I had some issues with the bearings. So I fixed them up this spring, a couple months ago, got it all up and running again, and I mentioned in that previous video that they were cheap enough that it was worth buying a new tire every year if I had to, if they'd last 12 months. Well, unfortunately, this last go around, that's not been the case. I probably used some incorrect hardware. I did pick up some new carriage bolts for the Grasshopper. These are Grasshopper parts, and I got them from my local dealer, and it was like $3.50 a bolt, and then like the nuts were like a buck and change. So as far as the hardware is concerned, I think we're like under 10 bucks. Should have done that in the first place. I used some stuff from Home Depot, probably paid up 10 bucks anyways, and they just weren't working. The bearings on these have not been working, and the ride is pretty harsh. When I posted that video, a lot of comments that I got asked about how harsh the ride was, and I hadn't really thought about it, because when I first put this tire on, I was super excited to be done with flats. I had so many flats in the first few months of ownership of this Grasshopper zero-turn mower. I mean, I just was done with it. I had taken it to many different tire shops. Nobody seemed to have a tube. I've tried to do my own options. The tubes didn't really fit. Tubeless didn't really work. So the second I got this, I tossed the old Grasshopper casters and just went forward. I think these were like 60, 80 bucks a set. Maybe they're more. The past is in the past. I don't even care. If you want to watch the other video, I'm sure I've got those details in there. But sunken costs. As a business owner, that's one thing that I've learned a lot about, and I think that the general population doesn't really quite understand sunken cost. Once you've invested into something and it's continuing to fail, there's a certain point where you need to say, I've already sunken cost into this and it is gone. I'm never going to recover that, and just move along and make the right choice from there moving forward, not the right choice considering what you spent. So this is where I was at with this predicament. The Twills here from my Grasshopper dealership, with the taxes and the bolts and everything included, came out to be about $350. And I know that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money to me. I think they're like $160 a tire. I certainly couldn't spend the $400, $500, $600 a tire that they're looking for the pneumatic tires, for the main drive tires. In fact, I've got a spare for that already because the rim was bent when I bought the mower. So I bought a new rim, bought a new tire. So I've already got a spare tire, and I rarely have flats with that one. But these front casters, I remember one time in particular, I just had taken it to a tire shop, gotten a new tube put on. Very first mow of that day, was driving around and mowing along the fence line, and there was a board sitting up against the fence. Didn't think anything of it, drove right over it. Well, it was a piece of the fence panel that had blown off, and it still had nails in it, and the nails went right in the tire and instantly flat. And with lawnmower, you start scalping the lawn, and you know the tires is what floats the deck. So many problems. Super excited when I put these on. It didn't care about the ride whatsoever. But the fact that they're wearing through bearings like crazy, the fact that the main axle bolt is failing on me again, it's just time for replacement. And I'll show you some clips of that. But sunken costs. So you know, let's say these are 60 bucks a piece, 80 bucks a piece, whatever they are. You know, they're half the price of these, or even a quarter if I'm buying two in a set. I can't recall. But at this point moving forward, to continue to replace every 6, 12, months, even 2 months, it's just not worth it. And I want something that's going to move forward and take care of me. This part is specifically from Grasshopper. They are not fully tried and tested yet. They're a pretty new product on the market. I think they came out about a year ago is what my dealer told me. And not a lot of people are running them. So I'm going to give them a shot, give them a try. I talked to them about Grasshopper brand tubeless tires like these, but wouldn't have the bearing issues that I've been having. And I think that they were like, what did he say? I think it's going to be about $250 a set. And so I think the price per tire was like 40 bucks difference, 50 bucks difference. And I was like, you know what, for that price, just give me the whole set. Just give me the nice Twills. They're gonna have better ride. And that was the thing. He said the ride is crap on the Grasshopper in comparison. You know, Grasshopper versus these flat-free tubeless tires, the ride's gonna be the same. It's just hard rubber or plastic or whatever the crap it is. I had a good friend and mentor tell me once that you can either cry once or you can cry twice. And in this situation, I'm crying 3 times because bought here again, and now I'm buying here. And I could have just paid for that cost one time and cried once and been over it. And instead, I could have cried twice. I could have bought this and then this. But no, I tried to be thrifty, tried to be frugal, and I ended up investing into this infrastructure twice before deciding that I had sunken costs into it that I was never going to recover, and that I needed to start over again and make the best decision. And the best decision right now is this moving forward. Again, I just did a review on this a couple months ago and was pretty happy about it. But just my new information, new knowledge, this is where I'm at. In 2 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years down the road, am I going to have different opinion on this? Obviously, I'm going to learn from this experience. I want to share some future videos on these Twills and how they're doing, and if it was a good choice. I'm pretty confident that it's going to be good for me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have made the investment. I think that it's the best option on the market as far as a tubeless tire. It's going to maintain a factory-like ride. These things are weird. I mean, have you ever seen these things? I know you've seen them, but have you ever physically like touched them, seen them? I mean, these middle bands, they're kind of stiff. So, you know, and I was even thinking about it. You know, are they directional? Is there going to be a particular way they're supposed to go? Because the fins all kind of go the same way. I don't know. Weird stuff. I'm excited to try these out, try these on, see how they work out for me, and I hope that I'm done buying tires for the front casters on my mower. I'm okay buying tires for the rear drive tires. I think they're like 50 or 100 bucks a tire, and you know, usually they last a couple seasons at least before they, at least before they get sun rotted. Traction-wise, they do start to get wore out over time. But let's bring it in here for a closer look. Take a look at these. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I think, you know, with a new product, I want to share as much as I can. Obviously, right now we're just getting into it and kind of explaining why I'm choosing to go with a new product. I know a lot of people are out there promoting this new stuff just because it's new. They're working with these companies. I obviously paid for these outright. Love to get sponsored. These are actually a Michelin product. Love to get sponsored in the future for stuff like this. But I just think it's, you know, in this situation, it made the most sense for me, and I'm just sharing my experience. I'm not out here to sell it. If it's right for you, buy it. If it's not right for you, don't buy it. But cool product, and yeah, let's get into it. On top here, it's smooth. They do have treaded options on these. You can see where they've got seams every quarter the way through. They've got seams. So you can see here, this is a Michelin tire. We've got a max speed rating of 16. We've got a max load rating of 290 pounds. They were also calling this their Tweel turf, made in the USA. Again, we've got the Michelin, and then this is the 13 by 6.5 NG NHS, not for highway service. As far as these bearings here, looks like pretty quality. We got this fixed bearing here, no grease zerks, nothing to maintain, so that'll be really nice. What kind of bearings we got in here? Probably a roller bearing. Might be ball bearings, I'm not quite sure. Got a sleeve down the middle. But I guess before we get too invested in this, we should make sure our bolts fit, which they work perfect. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get this installed, and we'll do a future update video on see how they perform. I am so curious about one other thing. we got this sticker right here. So 483867. I think that is the Grasshopper part number. And there's also this barcode in the middle here. This is probably the Michelin part number right here for anybody that's interested. I'll leave a link to Amazon if I can find one. Should be pretty straightforward on these. As far as directional, they say Michelin on the outside, both are facing that way. So I probably want to put them on same direction. I'll have to look up if these are one way. Okay, so I'm looking up their PDF, the Grasshopper PDF manual for the Twills, the Michelin X Tweel airless turf tires. And we've got the frequently asked questions section, and it says, will a flat spot occur after storage? And it says they may occur, but it'll usually go away after 100 yards. Asked about the temperature, it says they can perform in -30 Fahrenheit to 100 Fahrenheit. And it says, are they compatible with power vac collection systems? It says no, which I do have one of those, and that does not put weight on the well, it does put weight on the front. The vac doesn't put weight on the front, but there is a counterbalance weight that goes on the front tires. So that's going to be interesting. I do not plan on swapping these out in the wintertime when I'm putting on my power vac system. So we'll see how that goes. And then are they compatible with the Duraflex suspension forks? And it says they cannot be used with the suspension forks. So a few words to the wise. There are some things that you're not supposed to use them for, which I was not aware of, but still going to run these. I do not have the power vac system on right now, but we'll see how they hold up to that in the fall, as well as we'll see how they hold up to the heat and storage. So those will probably be in an update video. So I'm not sure if this is the only conflict, if it's a weight conflict or what, but there is a conflict between this tray, which is what holds the counterbalance weight for the leaf bag system. This tray does hit right here on this tire, and it is scratching it pretty deep, actually, surprisingly. And I'm not going to risk it, so I'm going to remove this. And maybe that's where they were saying about the leaf bag system not working. Might be something different. Okay, we've got that clearance issue resolved. Pulled this bracket off. Haven't had this off since I owned it, but should work good now. No contact issues now. Well, thanks for watching this Thrifty Garage video, comparison review on these two tire options. Like I said, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. If you like the video, give us a big thumbs up. If you aren't already subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. And thanks for watching Thrifty Garage. We'll see you on the next one. So I had a wise person tell me once, cry once or cry. I always say it that way. Cry once, cry twice. I had a wise friend, mentor. I had a wise friend and mentor tell me once, you can cry once. Why can't I say that?